Hello, my friends. Welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me today for our collective energy reading. Let's get started and see where we'll be guided to go today. Let's get started. Okay. What messages do we have for the collective today? Oh, did you see that? That was the Three of Swords. Three of Swords. Okay, so some necessary separation, some conflict perhaps, something that you may have taken personally. Excuse me. Something you may have taken personally. Something like you really took someone's words to heart. There may have been a difficult communication that happened recently, and it's got you sort of feeling like this could lead to a separation. This could lead to us not talking for a while. This may have created some hurt feelings because of taking something personally. Whether or not it was intended to be personal or not, we're not sure, but there's the Death card. I think it was intended to be transformative. Whatever it was, there were some words spoken here that led to a transformation in a dynamic here. So you may be dealing with that today. You might be dealing with someone's words or your own words. Perhaps you spoke some words that led to a transformative moment, and now you're sort of sitting in that transformation space, thinking about those words, thinking about that conversation or that communication. Very interesting. Let's see what's on the other side of this. We've got transformation. Oh boy, and some regret, some sad feelings, regret, remorse, sort of crying over spilt milk, but it's not milk, it's emotions, right? There was a communication here that, albeit transformative and maybe necessary, led to some hurt feelings, led to feelings of regret. Either you're feeling that feeling of remorse or regret, like you wish you could take it back, or whoever you're thinking about, if this is resonating, whoever was on the other end of that conversation may be feeling a significant amount of regret, remorse, wanting to retract those words, but it feels like it was necessary. When I see the Three of Swords and the Death card, that makes me feel like even if it's a hard pill to swallow in the sense of an emotional pill, it's difficult to accept. It feels like it was necessary, and that it will lead to a transformation here for maybe both parties. Perhaps both parties needed this to happen, right? Let's see what's top of the conscious mind here. What are we most aware of? We're most aware of how guarded we are. Nine of Pentacles in reverse. So right now, sorry, I'm shedding everywhere. We're most aware of how guarded and defensive we might be feeling. We might not be willing to entertain a second conversation at this point. Seeing the Nine of Pentacles in reverse makes me feel like you've come a long way in general. Aside from this, you've sort of been working on yourself, and now you might be feeling really guarded because of what this conversation sort of made you feel, and how those words pierced your heart, or they pierced the other person's heart. There is a moment here of feeling guarded, of feeling like I'm not ready to look at this with this person again. Although I have a lot of feelings about it and I've taken it personally, there is a transformation here. So you may be feeling guarded because things are starting to strip, right? Like it's starting to come apart here, as things do once certain words are spoken, right? This also makes me feel like perhaps the truth was spoken. Perhaps someone said the truth finally, and it was a moment. It was a moment of transformation when the truth was actually spoken. You really expressed yourself here. And now someone's guarded. Someone is guarded here and not wanting to show up again. So, it's interesting. There's the Hierophant in reverse. So seeing the Hierophant in reverse is actually very interesting, because it's sort of a time where you're going against yourself, your convention, your normal pattern, or you're going against like the mainstream perspective. You're guarded. You're sort of going outside the lines of convention when it comes to this interaction. Yeah, you're not quite... I wonder if it's trust that's got you guarded and sort of thinking of going an unconventional way, or if it's the transformation. Two of Pentacles coming out here. So yeah, there's opposing forces around you. This feels like, honestly, what this looks like to me is that there was a conversation that came at a time where it was like very sensitive already. The dynamic between these people was very sensitive already. And someone went and spoke the truth, but it was like, it's almost like it came too late. I almost feel like when I see the Three of Swords, I feel a sense of betrayal, a sense of, how dare you? It was a how dare you moment. Someone triggered a how dare you moment where, it's like now you're guarded. Now you're not even being your regular sort of, I want to say, forgiving self. I feel like you're taking a stand and saying, I'm not going back. And it's interesting. I feel like there are two sides of this for you. If this is resonating, that there's a part of you that's sort of second guessing. And I'm getting like, I feel like I'm going to sneeze all of a sudden. It's almost like you're second guessing it, or you just feel torn, right? You feel torn. There's a part of you that wants to run back to this situation. It must have been very meaningful to you. It must have been very meaningful to you because of how much it's affecting you and how guarded you are now. I feel like you must be guarded because I feel like there must have been a trust issue. You feel like betrayed. But you know what's interesting about this is that's because we're looking at it from a let's take it personally perspective. The how dare you moment is taking it personally. So if we weren't taking this personally, what else could this be about? Well, to me, it seems like it's about you transforming. That the bigger picture here is actually about you realizing something transformative. And that the level of taking it personally is where we have all of these feelings of hurt and wanting to be guarded and maybe regret and remorse and feeling torn. But actually, this is about you transforming into something unconventional. This could be a moment of self-discovery that's quite profound for you. It's almost like there's two levels. You can take it from the level of taking it personally, in which case you're going to start to feel all of these feelings of sadness and separation and loss, and now you feel guarded and you're not trusting. Or there's this other perspective that says, like, this is actually here to show you something transformative. And it might not be the traditional pattern that you're used to. It might even go against what you would normally do in this situation. And I think that's leading to this transformative energy here. Something about this relationship maybe no longer serves you. There's the Devil in reverse, no longer serves you. Devil in reverse to me really says that be very mindful about what's motivating you. Be very mindful about what's motivating you to make a choice between these two options. What is the motivation here? And is it feeding into your demons? You know what I mean by that? Like, is one of the perspectives here sort of speaking into your ear saying, oh yeah, they meant to hurt you. They meant to make you feel bad. Whereas this other part of you is like, pay no attention to that level. Pay more attention to the higher perspective of what this is trying to teach you about yourself, not trying to teach you about the other people, right? Like, it's almost like those are the two sides of the coin. You can focus on the other people and how much they hurt you and how much you feel guarded now because of it, and regret, rejection, remorse, distrust, and all of these low vibrational feelings. Or you can sort of have a look at it and then not stay there, and have a look at it from another perspective as well. Sort of reminds me of this idea of looking at things from as many perspectives as possible, outside of the one that you feel is like the instant one, which is, I feel, why we're seeing the Hierophant in reverse. You're being guided to go a path that you wouldn't normally take. And so if you would normally take the path that says, I take this personally, you hurt me, and this is how I feel as a result, and then you stay there, perhaps you're being guided to have a look at that, but then have a look at some other perspectives. What else could this be trying to teach you, right? It might be trying to teach you something about your own shadow, which is why the devil is here in reverse. You're being guided to transform past some shadows here. It's very interesting. Nine of Cups in reverse, and the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. So that really makes me feel like that was the King of Swords that I just flipped over. When we're going to take these 9 cards, and we're going to look at the bottom of the deck, which is the Wheel of Fortune. So, seeing the Wheel of Fortune clinches it for me. This is karmic. This is something that had to go down to teach you something about yourself. You might be dealing with a whole fleet of your soulmates here, and that's why it hurts so much, because we sort of get attached to these soulmates. But really, what are soulmates designed to do? They're here to teach us things, and we're here to learn and teach as well. So it's almost like you've been involved with a group or a certain individual. It's going to be different because this is a general collective reading, but something happened recently where you had a strong emotional attachment, and now you're sort of resisting a new beginning that is moving away from these people. You're moving away from them. You're very guarded now. You feel hurt, and like, on that level of taking it personally, it really affected you. But when you look at it from a higher perspective, I can't help but feel like this ending is actually leading you to a new beginning. And you might not realize that yet, or you might be resisting it still because you're still sort of torn, right? You're torn between these two timelines, this new timeline that's starting and this old timeline from the past that has come up recently, and it broke your heart. It broke your heart. 3 of Swords to me is such a heartbreak. But again, it's only a heartbreak if you take it personally. Otherwise, it's just another lesson to teach you something about yourself and about yourself in this situation, right? What was the role that you played in this situation, and what are you being guided to learn from being in that role, right? It's interesting. I do feel like you are going to be just fine, though, when I see the Wheel of Fortune. I feel like this is moving in the way that it needs to move so that you can sort of get on to this new path here. But I feel like you must still be thinking about it, and you're still feeling very guarded. If this is resonating for you, then it's a feeling of guarded / sad, a little bit lonely, maybe, thinking that, because that 9 of Cups in reverse makes me feel like you were really attached. There was a strong attachment here. We're seeing Scorpio, we're seeing Capricorn, we're seeing Taurus. Yeah, it's interesting. And I can't help but think that your feelings may be getting in the way of you seeing how transformative this moment is. I'm going to leave it at there, my friends. Have a wonderful day. Sending you so much love and light, and hope to see you again for another reading. Take care.